The purpose of this course is to provide you with an orientation to the uh, format of the Diversity Executive Leadership courses. And so it's an orientation or introductory presentation to that regard. And the idea behind this is to help you as an online learner not only understand the way in which this particular set of courses are set up individually and as a collection of courses, but in addition to that, we'd like to help you understand what we found to be useful to know for participants to make certain that they are successful in the course. So you've successfully joined the course, as you can see by us having this opportunity to do this live presentation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first, in general, talk about online learning. And then I'm going to talk about how to access the course for the one that you've signed up for. And thirdly, I will talk about how do you navigate that course. So now we'll move over to the course site here. The way that you typically get to this course is that you're going to come to a screen as you've already done, and that screen will have it's going to be from Canvas Instructor, and that screen will have a password username which you should have set up from the link that you received in the email after you've registered. Once you get into the course that you've signed up for, it should look something like this. It says CDP Level 1 online course, and it has a menu that looks like this, and it has a list of content by module in that in the course. So all of these things are good to know because they talk about navigation. So in the center of the screen, you have the overall menu for the course, which I'll discuss in just a couple minutes. Then you have the list of content in the course in this, basically in a sequence of start to finish in the course. So at any point in time, you can come back to this, which we will go over. To the left of the screen here, you will see a menu here. For you to really get a good look at this, because I am in the instructor view, I'm going to take you to the participant view. And that's right here. And it looks very similar for the most part. The items in the modules will come up after it loads up a bit. And now you can see the left menu, and you see the same thing that I see in my instructor view. The next thing you want to do is start the course. And typically, you will go to the introduction, start here, and end on module 10. So it has a sequence that you want to follow if you want to get the most out of the course. And you can get to the different parts of the course from start to finish from this menu. You can also get to the course from here. And I'll talk about these in just a couple minutes. Now, to the left of the screen will be some important tidbits that you'll need to know about. We're going to have weekly announcements. That's just basically things to keep you on track as well as to let you know about important things. Every now and then, but not very often, there might be some technical issue that we need to bring to your attention, and that will come from here. So you'll see an announcement in this section, which we'll see here. Here's some things that from back in December when we had in November when we had some things going on, but it hasn't been very much, as you can see. Also, on the left of the menu, each module has a set of assignments. Now, if you want to know where those assignments were, for the assignments are for any one module you're in, a shortcut is to come to this area. You can see they're all listed here for you. And there's a discussion area, a forum where you exchange with other students your assignments. So basically, you present your assignments there, and you can see them. The instructor can go over them and give you feedback. And the other participants in the class, at least one of them, will be responding to your content as well. And that way you learn as a group from each other. Your grades are here. The people in the class are here. Keep in mind, some of these, one or two of them have already graduated. They've gotten through it. All the pages in the course are here. The files are associated with the course. There are PDF files here for you to be able to do the assignments. Has reading material, there are instructional videos, etc. There's a quizzes there. Here are all the modules again. Conferences are basically online meetings like this, but we typically use my GoToMeeting platform instead of the course platform. And this is where a collaboration is where you might have it won't happen in this class, but sometimes some of the other courses have group assignments. So that's what that's all about. So just know that there's a bunch of resources over here for you, and you can play with them when necessary to figure out what it is, what each one of them has in them. So let's get started in the course. Oh, before I do that, let me let you know about this area here. This is just a more precise set of files that are located here and located in the assignments, and they only pertain to your reading materials for all the modules. They're all here. And for each module, there are video presentations. You can find all of them for the entire course here. You need to get in touch with the instructor. You can go here, technical assistance here. So on the first page, you can get to anything you need. For example, suppose you're on Module 3 and you are, that's where you should start this week, but you haven't really been to the course site for a few days, but you know that you completed Module 2. Well, you can come to this front page and locate exactly where you need to be for the next assignment. You can look at any of the feedback that I've given you from the course by going to the grade area here. You can see the grades, so on and so forth. All right, let's get started here. So I'm just going to go to the introduction because you should always start here. It has a lot of valuable information. And as you can see, that's basically an overview of the course. The objectives, again, there's another menu here. Talks a little about the instructor resources, other information that we think is important for you to know, technical support information. And here, just keep in mind that our week starts on Wednesday, ends on a Tuesday. All that really means is that when we say an assignment is due on day 3, we're really talking about Friday. So we have to give you some time constraints for submitting assignments just to keep you on track. But we have to do it in a way that makes some sense, and this is a best practice in online instruction to tell you, it's due on day 1, day 2, etc. But each one of those days has a day of the week that's associated with it. Course requirements, assignments, a little bit more detailed information there, how to use this discussion board, the modules, the quizzes, feedback, late policy, course format, perform, all this stuff you want to go in and take a look at. Now notice at the bottom, for your purposes, there is another navigation. This moves us forward, and this goes back to the previous. Now, all this is doing is going back to all that we'll do next will take you to the overview, and at the bottom of that page it'll take you to the module. And within each modules there are several pages, but clicking next will take you there. So I can get back to introduction here. So I'll go to the bottom of the page and I'll move to the next one here. And whereas the page before was a general overview of the sort of things that you need to know in order to effectively get through the course, this particular page goes through it covers the general set of modules in the course. So there's 10 modules. Here's the topics, and for each one of these modules, you have an assignment from the manual for the course, and that assignment is actually broken down into these pages. So they're PDF files that you um, that you download. So take a look at that. Now we're in Module 1. And you'll notice that each one of these modules have a similar format. Here's a format for some reason this image isn't coming up. I have to look at that. That's typically up there, but for some reason it's not there. I'll take a look at that. But it starts with an introduction. Then it has an overview of what the module is all about, and then it has assignments. Then below it has learning resources. Typically going to get a reading, a required reading. Sometimes you're going to get an optional reading. You're going to get an instructional video, and then you're going to have an assignment. And this is a discussion board assignment. It goes to, in other words, when you submit your assignment, it's going to be in the discussion board area for everybody to see. Now, they won't see my grading of your assignment. That happens behind the scenes. But just know that the course is set up so that people see each other's submissions, and they're required to respond to at least one other person in the course's submission. So you get feedback on yours, they get feedback on theirs. So, of course, this next should take you to required readings. And it does, as you can see here. And here's where you would download it. I'm not sure if it'll open here. I will download to your computer. but it will allow you to open it up so that you can get access to it. Looks like I can save it as a download, or I can open it up right away, just so you can see how it looks. I'll open it up right now. So here's the assignment for this particular week. You can see that. Go through that. And once you're done with that, you go to the next one here. Now, this is another reading, but again, it's optional. And so you can decide whether you want to do it. It's pretty good. Most people do read it, and they find a lot of value out of it, but it's entirely up to you. The next part here is an instructional video. Instructional videos are designed to give you a presentation online that has voiceover, a glorified PowerPoint presentation, basically. So I'm going to show you how that looks when it comes up on the screen. And it is a video, so it may take a little time for it to come up. Right here, it shows you that it's loading. And over to the left, we can see the different parts of the assignment, of the presentation, I should say. And you can see the timeline. So it's not a very long presentation at all, maybe 7 minutes. And then it starts. Okay, so you got a sense of that. Go down to the bottom of the page and go to the next one. After you've, so now you've read, now you've watched the video, and you now have an assignment. Now this assignment just basically helps you introduce, you and the other students introduce themselves to each other. And it says, what's your full name? What's your gender? Briefly describe the neighborhood you grew up in before you were 12, after you were 12, um, your mother's ethnic background, how would you describe your ethnicity, that so on and so forth. That's just basically helping people to start to appreciate their differences, the differences amongst the people who are in the group. Then you answer it to the best way that you feel. Just be comfortable with what you put in there. Okay, so now we can go next again. Now we come to module 2, and you start the same thing over again. Got a reading assignment, got a video presentation, and then you have a couple of assignments. One is filling out a scale, completing a scale, and then talking about the results of that scale on the forum. So essentially, that's how things are set up. A couple more things here. You will have a quiz in week 5. Actually, I can go to here. I could have gone over here to find it if I chose to. Here's a quiz. You'll have a quiz at the end of week 10. You have 2 or 3, I can't remember, but you certainly have 2. And as you can see, this is where you put your answer, right inside of here. So it's pretty easy to deal with. Yeah, so you can take, let me see how it looks here. I'm just going to take it again. I think that was, okay, that looks a little bit better. You can see the box down there where you can add your answer if you want to. Okay, so that is the most important things for you to know about navigating the course. Now, here are some other things that I'd like for you to know something about. So I'm going to bring this up here. And that has to do with online course participation. So this is a required assignment for everybody. It's how I look. Just remember that you're going to get out of the course what you put into it. And I'm here to help you succeed, but you really, online courses are really in the participants' hands. So I can give you opportunities like this, but I can't read for you, etc. But you know all that. But don't hesitate to contact me to the degree you need to. So I'm going to go over technology basics, time management, netiquette, or online etiquette, assignments, communications, and technical assistance. You're going to need a computer or a tablet. You can do some of this on a mobile phone, but it's a little bit more difficult. One of the things that I tell participants all the time, if you're going to submit an assignment, write it in Microsoft Word or some Word editor. Save a copy of it and then submit the contents of that, because otherwise, technology being feeble as it is, if there's a glitch somewhere, you're going to lose a lot of work that you put a lot of time and effort into. So it's best to, and you have your own running record that you can look back at sometime later on after the course is completed, that you can look back on for continuous learning. But if it's all online, at some point you may not have access to it again. A headset for audio is helpful, but optional if you don't mind other people hearing who might be around hearing the instructional video lessons, for example, that's fine. I just told you about the text editor. You should develop a personal success plan. That means write down the days of each week and the amount of time you will study each day. Identify what you will do to stick to that schedule. Just saying you're going to do it with willpower is not enough. You really have to have the mindset that if it's Tuesday at 6 o'clock, you're going to make that a priority. And when you start to see that you're not making it a priority enough, you're going to have to start to rethink whether you should create another time of day because that's not working for you or something. But you really need to get the consciousness that this course is a priority. Problem solve possible interferences beforehand. If you got a busy work schedule because of a project that's coming up, you're going to have to figure out how you're going to do this at least some minimum amount of time doing that project just to keep moving forward. Because what happens if you say, I'm going to sit down for 15 minutes and I'm going to read, you find that you read a little bit more, hardly ever less. So you just have to, this is about resilience. List the actions you will take to resolve any potential interferences ahead of time. When you share and learn in the course, the most important thing is to be courteous and respectful of others. There are some ground rules that we talk about in the online course, which will be helpful. But these things are pretty straightforward. Just know that you're on you're using technology to communicate, and all too often, if things are going to go wrong, they will in using technology. And people have different styles of writing and responding to each other. So be soft on people and hard on trying to figure out what it is that lead to any misunderstandings to the degree that they happen. I don't know of any instance where that's ever happened, but it's not. You can see through some group email exchanges that you might have been involved in how that might happen. So avoid making judgment statements when you're responding to people's contributions to the discussion board. Think about ways that you can learn from the information. And if there's something that you're not clear about, ask a powerful question. Just stimulate their learning by getting them to respond in a way that would be helpful to you. Each course is organized into a set of modules as I just showed you. Each course has a reading and discussion board assignments. Some courses have essay exams or quizzes. Each module is designed to be completed in 4 to 8 hours. Some much shorter, some maybe a little longer. Assignments are graded according to points. Contact the instructor for classroom question if you have questions about the assignments or anything in the classroom. When there are technical issues, use the tech support contact information. Here's the information for technical support that's on the orientation site that you got access to today. Here are telephone numbers that you can use. Actually, that's 1-888-288-1603. Have to fix that. This again is a photo of the main course, main site's menu and syllabus. And if you keep this etiquette in mind and these tips, it should be something that you can finish within, let's see, it's going to take you it's anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks, depending on how much time you put in and how many breaks you take, okay? So that's about all for our online course orientation. And it's open up now for any questions or comments that you might have.